This is the first time that it's been highlighted. This is the first
Let's get
time.
into a little bit about that when you went to the school. Let's talk about that.
So, the day that it happened, I called the school to let them know that he was not going to be in school because he had called me. He told me what was going on. I wasn't aware when he called. He just said, "Mommy, I was jumped." So I wasn't aware of the specifics until I got to the train station. But I called the school out of respect to let them know he's not going to be in school today. So I told her after I found out what happened, I told her some kids from Uzbekistan had attacked my son. And she was like, you have to be careful with those kids. She said a few years ago, someone got into an altercation with them and 100 people, I'm quoting her, 100 people came to the school with machetes for this child, adults and children, to retaliate regarding this attack. So that's where I'm very disturbed about, because this has been going on and people were aware of it. It was never taken serious. It was never taken serious. Even when my son was assaulted, it was not taken serious. I left that police station feeling defeated. I had to go to my councilman to get the charges upgraded, because initially the charges were harassment. They stole his sneaker, that's robbery. You attack with more than one person, that's assault. It has to be assault. And then they upgraded the charges to gang assault, hate crime, and robbery. However, it's in the hate crime unit right now, but I believe that the gang violence unit should be involved. I believe that schools should be talking about this. I believe that they should get the gang violence programs that the Board of Education has involved, because this is a serious matter. They kicked my son. They were jumping on his head. One wrong kick, one wrong blow to the head could have changed my son's life forever. Could have changed my son's life forever.
Right, and you've heard nothing from anyone in a couple of months, correct? Have you heard anything from anyone, the detective, city councilman, anyone? Because you made a lot of points about the gang unit and what needs to be spoken about in the school system and the other organizations that should be getting involved. You know, have you heard anything from anyone lately?
No, I haven't heard anything from anyone lately. The last meeting that I had was with the superintendent of the schools, because, like I said, these
And that was
children,
when?
they attend a specific school. And I feel like the school should be addressing this type of violence. The chancellor should be addressing this type of violence.
Exactly.
This is not just kids having beef, misunderstanding, and it's leaking to the streets. And my son is not part of whatever is going on. Even in the video, when they posted the video, people were in the video saying he's not part of the beef. You know, you jumping on civilians, you know, and it needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed. I'm very disappointed. I'm angry. And I'm glad I still have my son, because this escalates. This type of violence escalates. And usually gang violence is a symptom of something. And I just don't feel that the community is addressing this properly. I don't feel like it's addressing this properly. It's going on in all the schools, not just Coney Island. It's going on in all the schools. And something needs to be done. I'm very grateful to my councilman who did assist me. He did assist me. The charges were upgraded, and I was very pleased with that. But I have not heard from the detective. I reach out to him. He does not reach out to me. I know the investigation is ongoing, but I would like to know, because, you know, at the end of the day, my son was victimized in the streets of New York City, and I deserve answers, and he deserves justice. He deserves justice. He didn't deserve that. He's not about that life. And these kids, like you mentioned, they know who their beef is with. So I don't know why they're attacking these unsuspecting kids, and they're always attacking kids that are by themselves. And they're brutally beating them. They're brutally beating them. And they're not reporting it to their parents. They're probably not even reporting it to their parents because it comes with a deep sense of humiliation. They're young boys. They're being brutally attacked. It's being filmed. Comes with a lot of humiliation. And something needs to be done. This is serious. This is serious. You know,
What
violence
social
doesn't
media
just
platform?
come when you have to go to the court. Violence is
Right.
violent. Violence is
What
violent
social media?
and should be addressed as such.
You're right. What social media platform can the viewers and the public and the community in particular? What social media platform can they go on to find these videos and watch these videos of these Uzbeks jumping black kids?
Well, I'm not going to share that because that's sensitive information.
Not your son's video, not your son's video, the ones where they jumping other kids.
Yeah, but I don't want to share the name of the platform. At this
Okay, well,
moment.
she doesn't want to share it. She doesn't want to share it personally, but we at Cons of Dons, myself, Eastern York Wolf, and Malik, we will address that issue later on as to the platforms because I can understand, I respect the sister for not wanting to share those particular sites and platforms, but that's something we'll deal with personally. You mentioned a minute ago about the detective, and
No,
I was
you
grateful.
people. Sorry, I'm sorry. You can direct people to the news, the media. If they post
That's what we're gonna do.
and that's
That's
where
what
they
we're gonna.
can see, you know,
That's what
what
we're
was
gonna
going
do.
on.
Okay.
Okay.
You mentioned the detective just not too long ago, and I was grateful and thankful that you passed that information along to me. When I called him, to the people that's listening, I spoke to said detective about 2 weeks ago, and he was reluctant in the beginning to give me any information, but I pressed him, and he said off the record that the investigation is still ongoing, that he is not like them, meaning the rest of, I guess, meaning the rest of the police force, that he in the gang unit or this particular um, um, hate crime unit, he takes it serious. And I said to him, where are you at with the investigation? He says, well, we're still trying to get warrants and information to get access to other cell phone and video, cell phone devices and video. I'm saying to him, well, this stuff is already available. All you have to do is go on X, Y, and Z social media site and you can see it. And, I got the sense that he was giving me the gloss over because I told him who I am. And my pressure on him have been a little bit much more than he could stand. But that's why I'm here for. And that's what we're here for. And this is why the sister reached out to us. I don't like it when instances like this happen to Black people. If we don't stay on it, if social media don't stay on it, you know what tends to happen? Unless it's a white kid and it's some big thing, they're gonna get all the media attention. Somebody's getting convicted. But when it comes to us and our people, if we don't have the proper hands on it, the attention, and we take this serious, it falls by the wayside. And we get just what I was getting from that detective, lead detective. We want to see her case front and center, back on the news, back on every platform on social media. If you can get on this app and get on these apps and do all of what y'all do, let's get my sister, our sister, case back in the news, back in the mainstream. 'Cause I don't like it. We don't like it. And I'm sorry, Mo, that I had to take over like that, but you know how,
No, no, no.
I'm passionate about this. I don't play this.
You're not taking over. You're facilitating, and I'm very happy that because it does need attention. It needs attention. It needs attention, and it needs a resolution. And it can't just be done with me. I initiated calling, like you said, you were talking about Tony Herbert. I know people that know him personally,
Talk
and
about it.
advised me to call him. But prior to calling him, I had already contacted my councilman and sent them the videos and sent them the information, and they were working on something. And two people that I know told me to contact Tony Herbert. It stated that he would be someone that could be helpful to me. So I contacted him, and he said he knows the mayor. He works in the mayor's office. He said he was notifying the mayor of everything that was going on, and that he wanted to do a press conference. And I contacted him on a Wednesday. He said he wanted to do the press conference on Thursday. I told him that I was working with my councilman, and he just basically said, I'm going to assist you. We're going out tomorrow. That would have been Thursday. Later on that evening, he sent me an article in the newspaper, from the newspaper, stating that the people that attacked my son was arrested, and that he no longer needed to do the investigation. So the next day he contacted me, which was that would have been Thursday. And he wanted me to talk to the media. And I was going to do it. And then I was advised not to. I was advised not to talk to the media. And so
By who?
because when I went
You
to
was
my
advised not to talk to
councilman,
the media. You was advised not to talk to the media by who?
by another activist who was referred to me from my councilman. When everything went down and they got the information, they sent it to him, and he was going to be the one to move forward to assist me. However, I hadn't heard anything from my councilman. So when my friends told me about Mr. Herbert, that's why I contacted him. So the next day I was getting ready to go on the news, and I got a call from the activist who was going to be taking my case and who was going to be leading me to justice and helping me through this. And he advised, I told him I'm getting ready to go on the news. He told me no. He advised me not to do it. He said that he would contact the news people, and we're going to go out tomorrow, which was the Friday, which you can see that was broadcasted on every news channel. I went out on Friday in front of the train station, and I spoke out along with the activists. And he called out the specifics, like, there's a police station in this train station. How does this go on? How does this happen? So shortly after that, I received a nasty text from Tony Herbert saying that he was disappointed in me, and that I went with people that I shouldn't have went with. And it wasn't a nice text. It wasn't a professional text. It was insulting and degrading. And it just put this whole situation into another perspective, because here I am as a mother fighting for my son, a Black child, and a Black activist send me a text like that. It was no longer about my son. It was no longer about justice. It was personal, and it wasn't even about me. It was personal, but it had nothing to do with me. And it had nothing to do with the cause, and it had nothing to do with my son.
So do you feel like because he didn't get the interview with you to be able to be the person that go in front of the cameras,
I'm not sure what his objective was. I know that he wanted me to meet with media. These were his friends. He told me They were his connections. And I believe when they couldn't get the story, maybe they were disappointed. Maybe they were disappointed because they couldn't get the story. But they did get it the next day. They did get it the next day. And also that evening, someone went on the news, the violence cure director of a cure director violence program that's here in Coney Island, went on the news, and he stated that this is something ongoing, that he was aware of it, and that he's been working feverishly to get ahead of it. But if people were getting ahead of it, my son would have never been victimized in the train station that day. And that's my
Right.
issue. This never goes to the police. They fight back and forth, and it's never have gone to the police as far as what I know. Because
Let me
it's
ask you
never
a
gone to
question.
the police.
Let me ask you a question. So you said that he's going to get in front of it, and it's been ongoing. Um, Aside from your son's situation in Coney Island and the Stillwell subway, has there been any other assaults on black children or children or whatever, teenagers in particular, with the Uzbek gang in Coney Island?
Yes, but it never made it to.
No. I know it didn't go to the media. No. I know it didn't go to the media. I'm asking that question because if this has been going on, however long it's been going on prior to your son incident, and this dude got a program that's supposed to be cure violence in Coney Island, I'm confused as to was he aware of it, what was going on, and if so, what happened? So for you to mention that he has a program in Coney Island, and I saw the video, he has a program. I'm confused. I'm confused because my thing is this: I'm gonna hammer on this. I'm gonna step back, and I'm about to get pissed off. How can you be a true violence model in the area where there's violence in the streets? Black, it doesn't matter who the violence is perpetuated against and who the perpetrators are. I never heard of you, homie. If you're watching this video, never heard of you. Okay? If your program is active, right, you need to get reactive, right? And help this system, man. You understand? Because talking ain't gonna get it. You understand? These kids don't care about talking, they care about presentation and a presence. So speaking to the traumatic part of the assault against the brother, I believe there's a small part of PTSD dealing with this. I'm gonna tell you why. Remember, she said she told him to throw away that backpack, bro.
Yeah.
Because she said, I need you to throw that backpack away because it's too noticeable. That backpack was a backpack he wanted to video. You understand? When he got beat up, when he got jumped and assaulted, rather. So when she said that to him, I need you to throw away that backpack because it's too recognizable. What came to my mind was, damn, how did he feel with his mother telling him the backpack is too noticeable? What did that do to him mentally and emotionally?
Moni,
Yes.
talk about it. Because this, we talked, off camera. You can get justice. Your son has been traumatized. This is not something that people, parents, white parents, black parents, Latino parents, Asian parents, whatever. I'm speaking to a parent. If this happened to your child in any way, how would you feel? What would you do? What length would you go to protect him or her? This is about the traumatization that your child would suffer long after the initial incident, and what we can do to help him or her, what the judicial system, what the court system can do to help him or her.
Yeah.
You know,
And another note, this not to let me
go ahead, bro.
Because I'm pissed off, man, because there's no boots on the ground. You got a program in Coney Island. It's supposed to be a true violence model program, bro. Where you at? You understand? And PSA, this is not about blacks and whites. This is about a hate crime. And it's not
It
a
is a hate
simple
crime.
teenagers jumping. It's not about a group of teens, white teens, jumping a black kid. It ain't about that. It's about the level of hate that was incited, that was used in that attack.